I'll just show you one more thing. This stuff, earth sleeving, pain in the butt, and I do carry quite a lot of this protective blankets to go on floors and stuff. Then there's an Armeg torque screwdriver in there, and a load of Armeg bits and stuff, cutters of various sorts in there. Long stuff I can get in here as well, because that goes right the way through into the back of the seats in the front, so you can get sort of, yeah, 8 foot, something like 8 foot in there probably, length wise. I did used to be able to carry an 8x4 sheet in here, but obviously since racking it out I'm not able to do that. It was all racked, unfortunately, in the 2.5mm Unistrut, and I didn't know at the time that you can actually get this stuff, which is, oh, it's not that stuff, it's stuff at the office, which is a lot thinner. It's like 1.5mm and a lot lighter, so this is all pretty heavy, and it's cut my fuel efficiency down from around 50 miles to the gallon to now 36 miles to the gallon since racking it out. So I was doing, yeah, 48, 49, 50 miles to the gallon. If it was empty I could get 60 to the gallon, but now it's doing 36 to the gallon diesel. Afternoon. Well, I've been in the office sorting the office out, ready to do some paperwork, getting nice and distracted before starting the paperwork, putting a few more YouTube bits out, and then I've found sort of like a switch fuse here, some saddles for cable tray, some standoffs, a couple of bits of trunking. So I'm going to go and pay my monthly to City Electrical Factor, pay off my account, and which is about 1,500 quid, which I can then afford. But somebody's just paid me, so I can afford to pay that off this month. Thank goodness. And yeah, so then we'll have a look at the van, and I'll show you around the van. There was a question from one of the comments about doing another van tour, so maybe we'll do that. And I can't really remember what else. The radio's working at the moment. I've turned the lights on. That still works. In cities you're not allowed into the trade counter at the moment, so I'm going to have to just ring them and get them to come out. Change all this. Hi there, I've got to pay a bill and I've got something to return. I've been clearing up my office. When are you going home? Tomorrow. Yeah, my main problem is at the moment I took a loan out. It's only for 7.5 grand, but I had a loan out for 7.5 grand last year as well to support business. That was, you know, going on without payment, which I paid off most of that one. This one I might just keep now. I'm owed now about 17k. I think 2 has just been paid, 2.5. So 2 invoices come in, so yeah, 14.5 grand I'm owed. Between you and me, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. It's due by the end of April, most of it. So I've got to look back, and there was a hot tub installer last June, July, when I did that emergency hot tub. They hadn't paid me in December, I don't think. So I chased them up, and a guy who I'd met during the install said he would get onto it the next day, but I haven't checked up again. I haven't checked up that they've paid. During all this fallow period, I might look into setting up on Tradify getting some of my details put over there, but I've got a huge amount of old invoices from these guys and a load of stuff to get into some kind of order into my spreadsheets for my books because my end of year was December, it's now March, so I need to get my books in. But then, do I really want a £600 bill from my accountant in the next few months? Not really. Maybe they'll allow me to put it off. I've got so many bills, if I look at it, that I could be paying. I owe people, it's got to be a couple of grand, really, straight away. These guys, that's not even counting this, I think that's about 1,500 for February. Oh, hello. Yeah. Oh, 996, so it's a bit less than like Dan from DSS Electrics doing his no, not DSS, is it? What's it? What's Dan's company's name? Anyway, Dan from YouTube, Cambridgeshire, his masterclasses is doing in his kitchen. But yeah, they just said that they go very slow today. A lot of stuff has stopped, so finally, yeah, they're laying off 3 of the lads, going home, and they're going to be on furlough. Pretty well finished trading. So they've taken my stuff back. I'm going to, so that's a bargain. Thought I owed them 1,500, but I think I must have paid some of it off before. That's good. Now, go back to the office. Oh, I was going to show you around the van here, wasn't I? Let's just do that now. Okay, well, it's quite bright in the sunlight here, so bother, the phone's just going off. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Hello, this is Rupert.
Hi, my name's Ollie.
Oh, right. Hi. I'm just at a trade counter at the moment. I was thinking of ringing you. Can I ring you when I get back to the office in an hour or so?
Yeah, ring me then.
Okay. All right.
Bye.
Cheerio. Okay, so that's Ollie. Okay, right. Fan. This ain't going to be a very organised van tour. What do I have in the van then? I've just picked up a new copy of that. I've got a load of music in the front of the van here. First aid kit. A load of shit up here. Some kind of papers, which I need to have a look at. I don't know what that is because it's been up there for so long. I've been so single-minded about getting my big jobs done and my invoices out just on the cusp of this that I haven't really cleared up or anything. So down here in these little cubby holes I have an engineer's vice that will go in my jaw horse. It's contained on a sort of platform which I can put in my jaw horse, and then I've got an engineer's vice. These are just rubble sacks here. In here I've got a military pouch which I used to use with my body armour, and it's got a load of biros in it. Up here I've got this is a clamp for the ethos. I think it's for the no, that was for the Black & Decker laser equipment. I will have in these tip trays. Now, I recently had some comments on tip trays which were the same as what I would have done is where on earth do you get them? If I came across somebody else on YouTube who had these tip trays, I'd be saying the same thing, because I don't know where I got these, and they were bloody hard to find, and they really are. And when they crack, which, like this one's cracked because something went into it, and when you break these, you can't replace them. You have to buy the whole thing, and they are expensive. They're 50 quid a shot a time at least. So yeah, they're expensive. So what I've got in here are sort of a few odds and ends of switches and dimmers. They're sort of off jobs, but this is a switch which works with a key, so that it's a lockable isolator, which I've put on some of the HVAC equipment in that other place. So yeah, I normally keep my Black & Decker in there, laser, but I've got a laser up here, an ethos laser, that's my ethos laser. That's just fallen down is my big lockout pack, which I lost and now I've found again, and that's my lockout up there. Now things like my little Black & Decker laser might well be in this pack here for now, because this, I generally pack it out at the box, my pack out case. I pack it up at the on the when I leave the van for the job and take it with me, and for some reason, except for tools, it's mainly kept. Since I went to France actually, and I did the David Savory memorial video that I did in the summer, it's kind of kept a bit of stuff here. So these can really come out. That's a 40 amp or 20 amp switch, 45 amp switches, so they can come out. That can come out now. I put these, while I'm doing this van tour, I can take these up in here. Useful little bits, some fastenings, and a metal discs that I cut out when I need to put glands into enclosures. I keep them because they can be used as washers in certain circumstances, especially when you're using the nail gun to clip things up. They're quite useful, so I've saved them now. Stuff that actually gets used quite a bit. It's quite useful to have. Not sure what that's doing. It's off a light fitting of some sort. But all a bit messy. Oh, there's another double switch and a pattress, which we don't need in there anymore. These boxes are good. Not sure why I've got two hammers in here, but I have. And this thing I never ever use. It's this one. There we go. Yeah. So they're all hex. Never been used, just because I can't be bothered to get into this thing ever, so I never use it. I was going to go back, wasn't I, and look at 32 amp 3871. Not sure if this one works or whether it doesn't. There was a 45 amp I had, which I bought. They're quite expensive, these. I bought one for about 25 quid, a 45 amp, and it failed within a month. So age shall not weary them. So at the moment I've got my labeler in here, R2 test leads here, a couple of extension leads which I have actually used on recent jobs, which always surprises me. My small 3-step, and then in the back here, okay, so I've got my, shouldn't really be here because I can't really use it from here, I never come and get it out, which is my verifier for my voltage tester. This is one of those things that detects where studding is in stud walling and stuff. I've got a vast array of these. I've got 3 back at the office, but these 10-watt LED floods excite. Don't know why I've got so many of them. Not sure what this is. Probably an old RCBO, but it's been put back. Okay, so mainly in the back here I keep my packs, which you've seen these packs already. So this is my main tool pack, which I'll just show you over again what I have in here. I have my side cutters. I've got 2 pairs of them at different sizes. For some reason I always keep these hole cutters in here, which I use with my, this is the spare, but I use with my ratchet driver. You've got a pair of Klein strippers there, 32mm hole cutter, much like the Armeg ones. I've got my 4 Klein screwdrivers, different sizes. Another one of those hole cutters. See, I am quite fond of these, and in fact when I need the cone cutter, it's in my holes and circles bin, which is basically cutting tools, drill bits. Here I've got my jigsaw bits, and yeah, so more spare twist drills and holes and circles. Circles being cutters like this, so that'll cut through concrete or masonry. And then I've got that I use actually for sharpening either scribers or screwdrivers, or what do I need to sharpen? Oh yeah, drills. Sometimes I offhand sharpen drill bits. There's some little jobbing short stubby drills there which can be useful sometimes. So there's a variety of cutting tools in there, and because this is such a useful category, holes and circles, I do have 2 of those bins. My van, I suppose, mostly is tool carrying. Bins in other people's vans like this are often full of first fix stuff. So you see what I mean, that what's fallen out there is a brand new Excite flood. Again, another one. That's a 20-watt there. Could have taken that back to cities. So here's another holes and circles. Flap wheels, which I find I use quite a bit for sanding off enclosures or the ends of conduit, steel conduit, or just, you find a multitude of uses for these flat wheels. Some old tank cutters, and there's another arbor for tank cutters in there. This is quite a useful tool. This cuts a hole for these Armeg hatches in floorboards, and it also recesses for the top, so those fit flush on the surface. Then I've got resins, all different types of resins, including polyester resin. I've got grip fix, and I've got some action filler there, which is to be used. It's brown filler that is going in the church, in the choir stalls, when I take the LED strips off. Some super glue or epoxy resin filler there, epoxy resin filler, and then cable ties and stuff there. Long stuff, that all goes in here. so if you've got any long stuff, that goes there. Long stuff by which I mean awkward things like this. I use that for chopping out back box holes before I use the square cutter. That's what I use on SDS Plus before I use that, and then that goes in and squares everything off. It's okay if the masonry's soft, but last summer I had some really hard bricks, engineering bricks, and it was a nightmare. A couple of these, I have a variety of demolition floors, or whatever you want to call them. Utility bars, they call themselves. Scotch chisel, got that in November from, that goes in there. So that's a Scotch chisel which I got in November from Elex. So that's the bronze bearing for that. See why it's come out. Another Scotch chisel there, SDS Plus. Outside screwdriver. Few things on the end here, a few reels of different cables. They're quite annoying. They do fall off quite a lot because I haven't really sorted out the ends. But they just screwed into the end of the unistrut here. As you can see, the shelves are made out of cable tray. So I don't know what size cable tray that is, 10 inches, something like that, 12 inches maybe. Bearing in mind 150 is 6 inches, so that's 300, yeah, it's 300mm cable tray. And this is your 150mm cable tray here. And there's two lots of that, so it's got a divider in the middle. I wasn't sure which way to put the cable tray in, whether to have it sloping down towards the middle of the van or sloping up towards the middle of the van. So I've done both, one each side. Main incomer and earthing, so this is all sorts of first fix stuff. Henley blocks, 951 clamps, spring clamps, all the stuff I might need there. 64390, that was the barcode in Obbins for champagne flutes. It's just miscellaneous crap that doesn't have anywhere else to go. Sockets, there's also a couple of pendants in there. Sockets, but also with sockets I always carry a few of these because they're quite useful. You'd have seen that in the Nest install. These collars, they're MK collars for extending the size, the depth of the back boxes. Of course, it's got the inevitable wall of MCBs and RCBOs and main switches there. On this wall I have usually amalgamating tape and some, very rarely use it actually, insulating tape. Funnily enough, don't really use that. And what do we have here? A load more switchy, some plug tops and some switchies, and some more sockets. So I think I can put some of these switches in there. What I tend to have in the back of that is usually my ratchet driver. Yeah, it is. So this is the fuel surge ratchet driver, and then under that are two shockwave boxes full of bits, which are the Milwaukee bits. There's a big cable cutter there for armoured, which I can cut armoured with or anything big, and then some butane for my soldering iron. The van vault is where my power tools are, in the van vault. So if I undo the van vault, here are all my power tools at the moment. My butane nail gun, batteries disconnected good. My Milwaukee bandsaw, spare bandsaw blades, chucks for the SDS Plus, angle drill, and you can see it's self-explanatory really. Battery operated grinder, but I also have a mains operated grinder up there somewhere, should be up there. There's a Nest learning thermostat there that never got fitted, which I can't send back because of the packaging. This is a vacuum that goes on the SDS Plus drill, which you might have seen me using. Pole Hog, which is a good tool as well. And yeah, so it's good that a Van Volt. I did want to put Van Volt stickers on my van because I thought it might deter would-be tool assassins from trying to break in, but haven't got round to it yet. And my other pack, which is all my testing equipment at the moment, not all my testing equipment, but some of it, that's mainly full of test leads, and it's not very well sorted at the moment, really. It mainly just has leads coming out of my arse, but then none of them are any good. That's the problem. Oh yeah, there's a clamp meter. There's clamp meters, and there's 2 clamp meters in there. There's a milliamp clamp meter and then another clamp meter which I can also use for continuity because it's got lead sockets in it. So that's my present 1730 that I'm using. I've got 2 more back at the office, and a 1550 I think is just underneath this lot, and then my voltage tester there. So not very efficient use of space in this backpack, unfortunately, mainly because I just get through test leads so quickly, and the ones I really like, which were the old 1550 series, I've gone and lost a load of. Then the top here, magic gel, lubricant, and I've got 5 more bottles of that back at the office, a Dade, and a PPE, skeleton guns. These are the sort of boxes that I've got in there. Those sort of boxes, enclosures. It's a very tight fit, but in here I keep outsized cable. Of course, we've got loads more of these again. I think these need to go back to the office. I've got far too many of them in the van at the moment. It's quite stiff. Yeah, so outsized cable, reels, and Copex, which is also, I've got a box of Copex at the office. I've also got some steel, flexible steel conduit there, Copex. Oh my god, and I've got more insulating gel here. I spent a fortune on insulating gel. That's 40 quid up there. I never used it for the job. I don't know, maybe I should take that back as well. So I've got another one of these Euro boxes in the front section, which I'll just show you. I won't be able to get it out. I've got a bucket at the moment for plastering. But in here I've got a pad tester, I've got a 1550, I've got a hairdryer or a heat gun for warming up conduit, and that's what's in there. Then got a meter rule here. In here, oh look, really long Patras screws, which is what I wanted the other day. I didn't realise they were in here, and blanking plugs. Label printer, labels, batteries coming up my arse out there. Those are batteries. Chargers for well, just tools that need chargers. I'm not really sure. Oh yeah, this is the charger for the nail gun, isn't it? Couple of lamps. Normally this is full of lamps. It's got a lot of lamps in it. And then we're on to these Fatmax boxes. Riveter for pop rivets there, and all the pop rivets, and they're also the riv nut. Well, yeah, it's all just riv nut stuff. This is my riv nut tool and riv nuts. So the rivets in another one somewhere, and wall anchors, SWA glands, cable clips, unistrut fastenings, all my unistrut stuff, screws, black conduit parts, so back boxes, adapters, not the through boxes, adapters. Can you think of anything else? Yeah, saddles, clip saddles and so on. Screws again, different types of screws, crimps and fuses. So there's a BS1361 fuses for plug top fuses. Wagos, a lot of Wagos in there. then white conduit parts there, more wall anchor choices here, and more cable clip choices here. Then I've got a number of boxes of tools here which aren't normally in here. This is my plastering toolbox, so that's got plasterer's trowel and various other stuff in it. That is a orbital sander, which I don't ever need on these jobs. That is a Works 230 volts multi-tool, which I have been using, and I think this is my cable finder. So that's the cable finder and probe in there. And then my rocket light, which is here at the moment on top of a rifle safe, or gun safe. Outsized twist drills here, and then just a box of crap. So there's paint brushes, there's spare scribers, there's adjustable spanners, there's outside screwdrivers, there's blades, there's drifts, there's one of those things, coal chisels, cutters, files, all that sort of stuff in there. So, oh yeah, my super rods, they fit in just behind here. So, then on top of the van, I'm not forgetting a powder fire extinguisher down there. I think it's a powder one I've got. On top of the van I've got one of these Rhino safe stows, which allows you to take the ladder off quite easily, because that is a big long ladder. That it's about 8-10 meters at least. And then another ladder here, which is a smaller ladder which is adaptable. It's a universal ladder. And then in here I've got a lot of oh, that's weird, isn't it? That is weird. How's that turned round? That's turned round somehow. That has turned round, hasn't it? That's turned round. So yeah, this is more unistrut and conduit, but that was round there. So it's somehow turned round. I don't know how. How did that turn round? I don't get it. I don't get how that's happened. Okay, this can all be locked with a padlock, and this can obviously be locked with a padlock. Sorted. So there you go, there's a look in the back of my van.